Here we go. It's time for ukulele. I have been having a terrible go of things, and so it's been a while since we got together, and I'm super excited to be back here today. Let me go post this link on our website. The website is jollyrogerukulele.com, and from there you'll be able to pick up the sheet music and join the website, become a member, and got, I don't know, almost 100 lessons on there for you to learn how to play ukulele the right way. And I've got videos and all sorts of stuff on there. So that's posted there. Let's go see if we can post it over here. In fact, it was funny. They talk about what's your elevator pitch. You know, they talk to writers about that all the time. If you had to sell your idea on the new novel or the new movie or whatever, and you only had an elevator ride to do it, what would you say? And I'll be darned if today I didn't actually give an elevator pitch. One of the people here in the building says, you know, my daughter's thinking about ukulele lessons. And I said, here's what you should know. And I had 3 or 4 floors to get the whole story out. And bottom line, you come here because you want to play ukulele. But what I want to do for you is turn you into a musician that doesn't care what instruments in front of you. And so that's why we spend so much time talking about different ways to play this instrument, because it comes up in some of your other instruments. Now, I will mention, because I have missed numerous classes because of all of life happening this week, this month, there's a good chance nobody's coming to class today. And that's fine. If you're watching this recording, I'm super glad you're here. I will assure you that it'll be lovely. We'll have a great time. We'll talk about them, right? Then, like, oh, they didn't show up to class kind of thing. I have my current professor's like, he tells us that do show up, how not showing up is affecting people's grades. You're like, well, I'm here. It's not affecting my grade, is it? So, yeah. All right. So today what we're going to be looking at is Brahms Lullaby from Book 1, and we'll be playing that, as you guys have had it for a while. Then Yankee Doodle, we'll be taking a look at that. Similar skill set to Brahms Lullaby, not as good of a song, but it gives us a chance to dig in. You know, similar to when we did Spaghetti Monster. Three Blind Mice is a worse song than that, but it digs into the same exact skill set that I need you to be able to master, and so we've got that going on. So that's sort of what Yankee Doodle does. Not a great song, but it is just helping solidify those skills. Then in Book 2 today, we'll finish up playing Melville Castle, cute little tune, and then we'll start on Minstrel Boy, which is, you know, another cute tune. And then today will be our final day on Over the Rainbow and What a Wonderful World in Book 3. So if you're not a member, that's worth, that right there, those 2 songs right there are worth becoming a member for, because you both of those are never going to be terrible songs, and it gives you a chance to play some really nice stuff. So, all right, let's get going. So first up on our list of the hits today is Book 1 and Brahms Lullaby. So let me, for some reason my iPad is not wanting me to go to my playlist. Here we go. Ukulele Book 1. Dun, 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 Brahms Lullaby. All right, so first we'll play it on ukulele, then we'll play it on baritone. And obviously the big thing for you as a musical person is to know what you're doing at any given time. And in this case, if you have a ukulele in your lap right now, you know that you are going to either play the melody or the Tuff uke, and if you are on baritone, you're playing the chords. Okay, so on baritone, if you have a ukulele, don't look. Right, I'm about to hurt your head. If you are on baritone, your chord shapes are, this is what C looks like. Okay, and your G7 chord is right here. Okay. And then you also have an F chord, which unfortunately for baritone players is a bar with 2 fingers there. It's really your E chord moved up to F. Okay, and let me put my phone on silent because it's just been one of those days where every time you turn around, somebody's texting you about something. I moved my screen over here where I see myself, and it's kind of weird when you're over there, because when you look, you're not looking at the thing. Whereas here, I moved it over there theoretically so that I'd be more likely to look at you. All right, so Brahms Lullaby. It's going to have a 2-beat count-in. If you're on ukulele, you play the melody line or the Tuff uke line, whichever you feels right. We're going to play down to 17, and then we're going to bounce back up to measure 2. I need to fix the measure numbers on here at some point. Fix measure numbers. Okay, and then we'll play it down. The second time you go through, don't play measure 17. Let that slide right on by like it doesn't exist. And then also remember, we like to talk about playing it the first time through with your if you're playing it with melody only, just play it with your thumb both times through. But if you're playing Tuff uke, play one time with your thumb, and then the second time through, play with your claw. In the beginning, claw is quite a bit harder, but in the long run, claw is going to be a whole lot more useful for you. So let's give it a try from the top. Brahms Lullaby, 2-beat count-in. I'm going to do claw, and I'm going to play Tuff uke. 1, 2. Measure 2. Second ending. Isn't that lovely? Really a nice, nice flow to it. I don't know. It just to make you happy. All right. Now I'm going to switch to playing the baritone version, and go back one. On the baritone version, if I'm playing baritone and you have a ukulele, now you're on chords. Okay, and these chords are a little harder for ukulele, so let's make sure you know what you're doing. Okay, you are going to play a G chord on ukulele. Looks like this: index, middle, and ring. Lullaby and good night with roses be, and then you're going to go to D7. And what I do, I take that G chord, I move it up here. Now I'm on D7. Died with lilies be spread, 'tis babies we. Back to G chord. And now you know your C chord, of course. Lay you down now and rest. May your slumbers be blessed. Lay you down now and rest. May your slumbers be blessed. So those are your 3 chords on ukulele. So if you have a ukulele in your hand, that's what you're playing. baritone players, you're going to either play melody, straight melody, or you're going to play the chords. Okay? Again, same thing. We play down to measure 16, come back to measure 1, and then the second time through, play the bottom. Andre made it in. Rainy Bremen, 12 degrees. That's about... Oh, Andre, I spent too long on Fahrenheit. 12 degrees sounds really cold. Wide awake, this lullaby is too beautiful to fall asleep. I know, right? Yeah, well, let's try to put you to sleep. He's up in the middle of the night. Glad you're here, Andre. All right, from the top, 2-beat count in. Play if you're on ukulele, you play chords. If you're on baritone, you're playing melody or tuff uke. 1, 2. Isn't that lovely? Brahms knew a little bit about writing music. Hit a home run with that little theme, right? Nice job, you guys. All right, so now let's go grab Yankee Doodle. Okay, Yankee Doodle's not a great song, but Yankee Doodle has what Yankee Doodle has is the first super scary chord that you're going to deal with, and so let's grab the ukulele version. We'll end up we'll teach it on ukulele. Baritone is exactly the same, just you're in a different key. Okay, so we'll teach it on ukulele, and then you'll go out and work on it this week. Okay, so Yankee Doodle, your 3 chords, C chord, Yankee Doodle went to town a-riding on a pole, and then to your G chord, knee, okay, back to C, stuck a feather, F chord, in his hat and called it macaroni, Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle, dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. So, but it was, I think that this was a popular tune at the time of the American Revolution. Some British soldiers, being the rakes that they were, decided they would change the words to make fun of the Yankees, and this is what they had. And then the Yankees decided, hey, we'll take that song. And so here we are with it. It's super popular in Germany, where Andre lives. Actually, it's a goofy little song. We don't care about the song. That's one of the things that's hard when you're a new musician, is you kind of want to play songs from the time you turned 16 until the time you turned about 27, 28, maybe 32 if you were a slow bloomer. Those are the songs you care about. Whatever songs were on the radio during that period of time in history, that's the only songs you care about. My job is to sort of cram other songs down your throat, and Yankee Doodle's one of those songs. It was a huge hit in 1755, and what we care about as musicians is how do we make that general thing happen in life using the skills that we have, because if we can make it happen here, then we can make it happen on the songs we actually care about. Okay, so one thing on ukulele, if you're playing the melody this week, you want to normally we start your C chord with your ring finger, right? But look at your the ukulele melody line, and you'll see 3, 3, 5, 7, and it should already be like, oh, sevens, I hate sevens, right? So what would happen if you just slid your hand up and put your index finger on 3? Okay, now your ring finger's on 5, and your pinky can easily reach to 7. Okay, so it's 3, 3, 5, 7, 3, 7, 5, second string, 3, back to the first, 3, 3, 5, 7, 3, and then just slide back to the 2. Okay, slide right back up, 3, 3, 5, 7, 8, 7, 5, 3, 2, 3, 0, 2, 3, 3. Now I usually go right back into regular position here. 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 3, 3, 0, 3, 1, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 3, 0, 3, 3, 2, 5, 3, 3. So that 5 kind of jumps out at you at the end. You're like, ah, shoot. So that's the melody of the song. Pretty straightforward. A lot of quarter notes. We've got a dotted quarter note of measure 9. That means that note is 50% longer than it's supposed to be. And as usual, it's followed up by an eighth note, which is 50% shorter than a quarter note. So the two of those notes together equals 2. You're just going to hold that Yankee Doodle. You're going to hold that first note longer because of the dot. Same thing happens in measure 11. Okay, so there's those. I love these beautiful traditionals. That's right. You know, it's fascinating when you find a really sweet melody. It is amazing how often you will find that in multiple versions throughout time, because people love the song, but the words stop being meaningful, right? Like these words mean nothing to us. At the time, they were probably really, really important. And so it would be easy to just go through and put on some modern music. Andre came, let's see. Andre came from Bremen, Germany. Stayed up late to join us, or whatever, right? You can change the words. And with the traditional tune, that the original author's not around to fight you if you do that. And so I think if you change the words to an Ariana Grande song, her fans show up and have a talk with you. But Richard Schuckberg is just delighted we're playing his melody. I couldn't care less whether we change the words or not. I guess I didn't know this was by somebody. It's been so long since I arranged this. How exciting. All right, and then, so on baritone, everything's exactly the same, except you're tuned differently, so it'll sound lower. And then let's talk the Tuff uke, because this will be the part that you want to spend the week working on. We're going to go through everything nice and slow and in plenty of time so you can think about it, okay? So first thing, Tuff uke, 0003, that's a C chord. So again, I'm C3, 5, and 7 following that. So instead of playing it like a regular C chord, I'm putting my index finger there. Okay? And strum that. And then 3, 5, 7. Pinky on 7. And then strum it again. But at no point have I even lifted this up. I've just added these fingers. Now I just have to lift those 2, and he's still hanging out there. 7, 5. Whoops. And then I got to get to that 3 on the second string, so I might just take my index finger over and then pull it back. C chord again. Now I'd put a regular G chord on here. Let it ring. Remember, don't move anything over here unless you have to. We don't add anything on until we need it, and we don't take it off until we have to take it off. Ukulele doesn't have very much sustain, Shakespeare would not be proud of me. Shakespeare would come. There's a guy who'd come and punch me in the face. Poor guy. I've been working on melodifying some of his sonnets for a project I'm working on, and I'm pretty sure he would either be completely overjoyed, delighted, or just take me in the back parking lot and beat me to death. I can't quite tell. Once in a while, I hit a pretty good one, and I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty good. He'd like that. All right, so that's. But what I was saying is, put your fingers on, leave them on, don't let them get away. Okay. Now, when you go to measure 5, you're going right back up to the 3rd position because you got those 5s, 7s, and 8s coming up. Okay, let's strum that from 5. Now, this is your first darn scary bar chord, and it's perfect because it's not that hard to do, but and it's in the middle of the fretboard, which is way easier than some of the other bar chords we're going to have to do. But it's super important. You're going to take your bar. This is your bar. Okay, it goes in fret 5. Your pinky is now sitting up on 8. Okay, and that's what you're trying to get to. Good chance you're going to hear this. Okay, if you do, that's fine. That's how you're playing your bar chords right now. Okay, they'll get better. You can take your middle finger and press down on your bar. Okay, that doesn't develop any bad habits, and you won't be able to do that all the time, but if you can, what the heck, why not? Sometimes I lay it on flat, sometimes I do that. At least in the beginning, to get your bar clean and get it all the way down. And then your pinky, of course, is stretching out farther away from that bar. Okay, what you're really doing here is you're really playing a C chord. Okay, but then we start moving it up with the bar. So if I move it up 1, I got to move the bar up 1. 2. We're going to be doing this one when we get to Amazing Grace. 2 more. That's an E chord. Okay, there's entire pages and pages and pages of the internet are devoted to how to not play an E chord on ukulele. This is how you do it. Okay, and then one more, bar on 5, pinky on 8. There's your F chord. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's your F chord. Now, it's not unimportant here. If you're playing tough uke, you are playing instrumentally. You're not expected to sing, and so your ukulele has to do the singing, and that's why you have to do an F chord way up the neck here. Okay. If you're singing, you're going to use a regular F chord, okay, because it's easier. Stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Okay, that's what you're going to do with your singing. But if you are instrumentaling, you're taking that chord, moving it up to 5, and now you don't have to sing. The ukulele will do the singing for you. But yeah, you do have to develop some additional skills there. And that bar chord, you remember early in this particular round of lessons, we did this. Hopefully all the way down to 12 and all the way back. Hopefully you're still doing that until you get your bars clean all the way up and all the way down. It's a very good warm-up activity just to continue to practice getting that bar by itself, the unadorned bar, clean, so that when you get to this moment in time in measure 6, you're ready to go for it. Okay? All right, so that's the big deal. It takes a minute to talk about measure 6. Okay, and that's your first legit bar chord. And then we're going to go to measure 6. Fret. We're in measure 6. Okay, then you just drop this back to 7. Probably change it out to your ring. You're already holding the 5 down, and now jump down to 3 and grab your G chord. 3-0. You're lifting up your middle finger to get the O, and then putting it right back down, and then a C chord. Okay, here's a regular F chord, 2-0-1-0, 2-0, 3-0, or 3 F chord, 2 pinky on there. Okay, that's 0-0-3. Okay, F chord. Chord. You got to add your pinky on here, and then take it right back off. Add your pinky at 5, and then 0, 0, C, 3, C chords. I sound like I've been drinking. Honestly, I haven't, but well, 1992, I think I drank. All right. Now, the big thing to remember. I'm teaching you to play ukulele, kind of. I'm putting a ukulele in your lap and giving you really quality sheet music, and we're learning how to play ukulele this way, and then the other way, and then another way, and then we're playing together, and we're trying to get all these different ways of playing together. If you decide to take your ukulele out to whatever ukulele gathering is going on in your neighborhood, they're only going to play this. Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. That's every ukulele, almost, let's put it at 98% of all ukulele gatherings. That's how you're going to play this song. That's a very important thing to be able to do. So always take time to go through and just play the chords and see if you can get them changed in quick enough time so that you're ready when you go to that. And then I'm really trying to teach you to be a musician, where all of the stuff on this paper is informative to give you lots of options. So, in other words, the tab is there to help you read the standard notation above the lyrics. So you're like 3, 3, 5, 7. Okay, that's that dot, that dot, that dot, and that dot, right? And so that you start to associate those two. Then I'm also combining that with chords and melody down in the Tuff ukulele. Obviously, you want to play it that way too. Again, could care less what the song is. Do you have all the skills in place to put that thing together? And you should, right? Because we've talked about all those. Let me play it very quickly on baritone, just so you can hear it. Everything's exactly the same. Almost grabbed that. That's not going to work. We'll play it on baritone. Let me double check tuning again. All right. How it would go on baritone, I'll thumb it. If you want, you can play along on chords for ukulele. G chord in ukulele, D chord on ukulele, and of course C chord on ukulele. Okay? 1, 2, ready, play. Musical thoughts here. Measure 16, that last note has that eyeball looking thing at it, staring at you from the top. It's called a fermata. You're going to see a lot of those in music, and that you just hold. It's just saying, hey, this last chord, make sure you hold it for a long time, which you should do anyway on the last one, but it's a great chance to talk about that. So know what that little symbol means. And then and what Andre was mentioning earlier, hey, these are traditional songs, but you don't have to keep the words the same. You actually could go around and sort of mess around with the song just a little bit. Try it with maybe a swing tempo or something like that. So again, be experimental. You don't care about Yankee Doodle. Certainly Andre doesn't. He's living in Germany. But the skill set's available. The skill set you care about, so that you could turn it into something. Yankee Doodle went. Let's see. Let me think. Yankee Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, right? So you could add a little bit of a swing to it. You could do different things with it, and don't be shy about experimenting and being silly with it, because you're on ukulele. You're supposed to have a sense of humor. Don't have a baritone ukulele yet, so I'll take the guitar. Yeah, a guitar. Well, honestly, if you have a guitar and you want to play the baritone stuff, you don't even have to capo. It's already in the same tuning. You're just not going to use those top two strings, which, believe me, and you know, Andre, the guitar, because of those two extra strings, is a whole nother adventure, because you're essentially playing two instruments at the same time. And baritone ukulele says we don't need to play bass too. That's the bass player's job. We'll just play the cool stuff, and so that's why this instrument is actually pretty helpful. All right, it's exactly 3:30. We did it perfectly in time. This week you will be working on Yankee Doodle as your primary activity, and I want to apologize for taking so much time off. It has been a terrible, terrible month around here for me in very many different ways, and it's delightful to be getting back to music and to doing some stuff that actually matters. And so hopefully my attendance will be a whole lot better going forward. Next week we're going to dive into the lesson 17 called Key of C Arpeggio. That one you want to be here for. That one is complicated. You want to be here early and be ready to go, because we're going to take almost the entire time. We'll zip through Yankee Doodle, and then we're going to dig into that arpeggio. In my mind, the single easiest way that I can think of, whether you are an instrumentalist or a singer, to make you sound a whole bunch better right away, is to get your arpeggio picking together, and we start that next week. That's one of the last major topics that we have to cover in ukulele, and because we've already talked about a lot of stuff, but when we get to arpeggios, there's some really specific things you have to do them a certain way, and so we'll talk about that in piece next week. So we're done with book one. Let's move on to book two. Sandy has arrived. Good evening, Sandy. Let's see. We are having a cloudy, overcast day, but it's still super hot out there. So let me tell you how hot it is in Denver. Let's see. It is, drum roll, and I love it because it takes a minute to come up. 81 degrees. It feels like it's 91 degrees out there. I think the humidity, we're not good with humidity out here in the West. So, all right, let's talk about book two today. And again, I apologize for missing so much, but we're going to hopefully be back in the saddle. Today we're playing Melville Castle, which is not a complicated song from a book two perspective. It's actually pretty basic. It's just that it's fun, right? And again, reminding you that learning music is supposed to be hard, but you can also have fun with it as you go along. And then we'll tackle Minstrel Boy. And then the following week, one of my favorite songs, Molly Malone, is just beautiful. And the week after that, Parting Glass makes you weep. It's such a great song. So we're working our way through the Celtic music. We'll end up with 11 of them in your quiver. And I would say of all of those, today may be the least well known of them. And that's why you study it, right? You wanna know a few songs that people don't know. Philip made it in. Hey, Philip, good to see you. Cloudy, overcast is 73 up in Michigan there. All right, so book two. Get out of book one, slide over to book two. Let's go grab Melville Castle. Melville Castle, let's do it on ukulele first. Let's talk about your chords. C chord. Okay. On baritone, it looks like that. Okay. F chord looks like a baritone C chord. Okay. Baritone, yours is the tough one, bar with your E shape in front. Okay. And then G7. Okay. And on baritone, it looks like the ukulele C7. Okay. And that's it. Those are your chords. I'm going to sing a little bit. You guys know it's never good. And then we'll talk about the song structure. 3-beat count in, and then I sing oh, and then you come in with your chords. 4 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Willie's gone. Whoop, I'm on the wrong key. Wrong chord. I'm playing a baritone. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Willie's gone to Melville Castle, boots and spurs and all, to bid the ladies all farewell before he's gone to war. Oh, Willie's young and blithe and bonny, loved by one and all. Oh, what will all the lassies do when Willie's gone to war? That's it. Right now, I'm not a good singer and I'm not hitting the right notes, but you got the basic idea, right? Now, those are your chords. Hopefully, those are not chords that you're thinking about. You're like, yeah, I got those. Don't worry about it. That should be part of your wheelhouse. What is challenging on this piece is the standard notation and the timing. You've got 16th notes. That first note's a 16th note, so it's super fast. Oh, Willie's gone to Melville Castle, boots and spurs, boots and spurs and all, boots and spurs and all, to bid the ladies all farewell afore he's gone to war. Right, so be aware when you have 16th notes in there, those really, really short little notes. And then, so that's a little bit challenging. Also know that when you see that smiley face tying things together, if it's the same note that starts it and ends it, you tie those together, you just play it once. If the note changes which line it's on or which space it's in, then you hit both notes. It's called a slur, right? And we have lots of examples of that in our music. This song does not have any slurs, it only has ties, so just make sure you're holding those over. Let's play the melody. If you have a baritone in your lap, you're going to play the chords. 1, 2, 3. Go. Will it? And I kind of blew the ending there. When Willie's. Okay, and then your pickup note is oh, or the, or then, when. Okay, so the melody itself is it's very similar to Yankee Doodle, isn't it? There's a 3 on the second string, and then 0, 3, 7s, and 5s is almost the exact same song we just played with Yankee Doodle. Now, I want to talk about how do you know how many times to do it. You go down the bottom, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in measure 8. 6 times into that measure before number 7, you then go to measure 9. Well, are you going to play it that many times? Probably not. You're probably going to play, if at most, you only want to do one real verse. The first he met was Lady Kate. She led him through the hall, and with a sad and sorry heart, she let a teardrop fall. Right? So that's the first lyric, and keeps going. You're supposed to do the initial line, then the lyric, then go back to the top, play that line again, and then go to the third line, go back to the top, play that again, and then play the fourth line. So that way you end up playing the main idea, Oh, Willie's Gone to Melville Castle. You end up playing that 4 times, right? 4 times, once at the beginning, once at the end, and then every other verse. So you would end up with 7 total times through the song. We're never going to do that, but you could. Okay. Let's talk about the Tuff uke. We did talk about this a little bit when I left you a few weeks back, and so it's not really it's definitely book 1 level, except for the timing, right? And even I'm struggling a little bit with that. So let's see if we can get it right from the top, just 1 time through. 1, 2, 3. Oh God, Gary, from the top. 1, 2, 3. stop there just for a second. G7, when you normally do it, is down here, index, middle, ring, right? Okay, that's your normal G7. But so many times we're going to be doing 5, 7, 5 up here. I want you to memorize that as one of the things you do. Here's the low G7, here's the high G7. Because we're so often going to need that D note in the melody. Okay, so there's that. Let's just start from there. Ready, play. Okay, and then keep the 5, and then the 7. Okay, and then that note right there, that G note, you can hear it. It's like, oh, we're going to go back to the top and play it again. If you don't want to go back to the top and play it again, then you go to measure 9. Instead of playing measure 8, you'll skip over to 9. And notice at the ending there, the chord on the very end, measure 11, 0, 0, 3, 3. And you're like, oh, what's going on there? It says C chord, but there's this other stuff going on in there. And let's talk about why you might want to do this once in a while. If you cover both 3s, get that. Very close to a C chord. Our normal C chord is this. Okay? Very full and beautiful. But when we use 2, it's a little tighter, a little snappier. And here's what's happening. You're still playing this G note. You're playing a C note. Now instead of your open E string, you're playing a G note and then a C. So you're only playing G, C, G, C. It's called a Rawk power chord. Okay? And amplifiers like it on electric guitars because there's only 2 notes the amplifier has to deal with. Just those 2, and it can become very easy and fun to sound very loud and powerful and anchored in that. But if you do a regular C chord, now you have this open E string in there. Gives it a much more full and complete sound to it. However, your amplifier doesn't like it quite as much. And so, sorry, I'm busy undressing while I'm teaching. This is part of my new plan is, to slowly undress while I'm teaching you Irish tunes. Dear God, please don't ever say that again. Let's play it through 2 times through. Okay, so we'll play down through 8, then we'll go back up to the top, play down the second time, and you're going to skip measure 8 and jump into measure 9. Okay, then we'll do it on baritone. Okay, so from the top, 1, 2, 3. Second ending. power chord. Okay, just a little different flavor of a chord. You could play a regular C chord there. Okay, but sometimes I like to just simplify things a little bit. Okay, isn't that nice? Nice little tune. Now, if you're on ukulele and you don't own a baritone, you stay on ukulele. Well, I'm going to grab the baritone. I'm going to do the exact same thing. We're going to play baritone version of this. And if you're on ukulele only, you probably already know your chords. G chord here. So you switch to the baritone ukulele music, even if you're on ukulele. I shouldn't be ringing it because that's a D chord. G chord, okay. Your C chord's right here, you know that. And then your D7 is these two fingers right here. Okay? That's your open D7. That's the easier of the one. You can do a bar chord D7 like this if you want, but when I'm singing and just backing up a melody player, I'm going to go with the easy D7 every time. Okay, baritone players, let's see if we can make this sound like something. 2 times through. I'm going to pluck the first time and strum the second time. 1, 2, 3. To the top. You're on second ending. There we go. Andre mentions, hey, this Irish folk music is so beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I call it Celtic because it is actually a Scottish song. Those of us who don't live in the Great Britain probably we sort of round everything off, right? But if you're in Great Britain, you're all very passionate about where things come from. So Welsh music is Welsh music, and Irish music is Irish music, and Scottish music is Scottish music, and English music is just wrong. It's punk rock, right? And the Beatles, and basically everybody in the 60s and 70s. But we round it off, right? Celtic music from that islandish area over there, and so yeah, it feels definitely like an Irish tune, even though not at all. But it is beautiful. That's I'm really happy. On our website we have, I think, 11 tunes from that part of the woods, and every one of them's like, gosh, these are pretty. Okay, so now let's talk about your work for the week. And again, I apologize for my extended absence from here. Hopefully that's not going to continue. Hopefully we're going to keep moving forward. Clearly I didn't download this yet. What the heck, man? Jolly Roger, close. Jolly Roger, come to front page. Click here. Patience. All right. So Minstrel Boy is again another one of these Celtic tunes. Thomas Moore wrote the lyrics. 1779, 1852, somewhere in there. That's his whole entire life. And then somebody subsequently came along and put it on for melody, right? It's always fun. And then where's the other thing I'm trying to get to? All right, I think I already did have these downloaded. It's telling me I already have them downloaded, so I did. All right, so why aren't they in the list, people? Who's running my book here? Let's see. Add M Minstrel Boy Baritone. It says it's already there. No, maybe it's out of order alphabetically. It's out of order alphabetically. Where is it? Where are you, Minstrel Boy? There we are. Okay, so there it is. Done. Minstrel Boy. There. Anyway, here we are. The minstrel boy to the war is way up high, gone. In the ranks of death you will find him. His father's sword is girded on, and his wild harp slung behind him. So it's got that very much of this militaristic, marchy kind of feel to it, but a little definitely tempered because the Minstrel Boy is going to end. He's not going to make it to the end of the song. Just FYI, not to be a spoiler, and yeah, to be a spoiler. And then let's talk about your chords. This is a much more book two-ish type song, and this is a song that's going to take a tiny bit more work than the other one. Right. Thomas More didn't write the music. He wrote the poem, and then I can't remember the name of the guy. I have a whole book of his stuff. It's beautiful stuff, complicated music, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he doesn't get hardly any credit. Thomas More gets all the credit because he's the author of the poem, and I'll have to go grab that book. It might be over at the shop, but it's this big fat book, and he wrote all of the music out for it, and I need to put it on here so we can talk about it. But yeah, Thomas More is the poet, and then somebody else came along and put these all to music. So yeah, it's actually here's our librarian. Like I thought I knew everything about this, and so you did know everything about it, Philip. The music is actually pretty complicated, but there's 3 or 4 songs. You know, when you write 100 different tunes on somebody's poetry, you're going to hit 1 or 2 home runs, and this is one of them. Now, let's talk about the chords because you're not going to be happy with me, okay? So you're in the key of F. What we know about the key of F is we put F here, G, A, B flat, we hate B flat, and C. Those aren't too bad, right? C, F, and C are good friends. They're not too bad. But their other friend, B flat, comes along, and sure enough, it's right there in the beginning. So don't get where you hate B flat. Just know that it's going to be a little tougher in the beginning, okay? F chord, the minstrel, B flat, boy. And if yours sounds like this, that's fine. Boy to the war is, and this goes way beyond my ability to sing it, gone in the ranks of death you will find him. His father's sword he has girded on. Okay, so that's it. I'm not going to sing it because it's just, if there's one of the things you learn as a singer is where your notes stop. My notes stop reliably on the second space up. I can get that A usually no problem. Occasionally on a good day I can get a B, which is the middle line, but that C note that's this note right here. That's not coming out of my face, and certainly not this one, right? And if we were on piano, we would just transpose down an octave and we'd be fine. But on our instrument, we're stuck with kind of the tones, and I'm not that great with dropping my voice an octave while playing the upper octave. So I won't sing it for you, but you should at least hum it, right? And let's do it that way. Let's do the F chord. Is gone in the was girded on in the wild, harp song behind him. Land of song, said the warrior. Here you got a chord in every beat. Warrior, Lord. Okay, that's a lot. Though all the world betrays him. So when you see a lot of chord like that, blah, 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 you got to be ready on your chord game because you want to be able to switch those. That's why you work on your chords, is so that when you see a whole mess of them lined up like that, you're like, it's one every beat, I got this. Not necessarily particularly easily. All right, let's see. I prefer to print out the sheet music and tabs because then I can play without the computer or the internet. There is something to be said for that. The search for a song is then also fast running. Yeah, I have abandoned paper only because I have thousands of songs I have to keep track of, and because I'm constantly rotating everything through. I spent all this time being a librarian, keeping up with that paperwork. I still believe very much that playing from paper is the way to go in a lot of ways. You're not gonna have a power failure on your 3-ring binder. So I definitely get it. I just have reached the point where I have to have the stupid computer because, the amount of music I have to deal with is ridiculous. All right, Tuff Uke. Let's talk about that because we're almost out of time. Okay, as always, start with your chord, hit the 0, little mini chord. Okay, and remember, if you're playing with your thumb, you rest stroke on that first string. You're not going to play it, so your thumb actually rests on it. Okay, ring finger or pinky finger to get to 3. Bar chord, I like you to do a full bar and then add in your A shape in front. However, sometimes people are more comfortable with doing a half bar. Long term, you want to do it with both. And then open, 3-1, F chord, pinky on 3, bar on 5, pinky on 8. We just learned that in Yankee Doodle. Okay, pull back to 7. Okay, this is your high B flat. If you're singing it, you play the low B flat. If you're doing fingerstyle ukulele, bar on 5, F shape in front, pinky up on that second string, 8, jump back to the F, 0, 0, 3, and then 2, 1, 0 is a little F chord. Repeats. Notice one of the things I'm doing there, which is a smart thing. F chord, 3 chord, add your 3, and then while it's ringing, okay, so then you get this. Okay, just adds a little bit of zip to what you're doing. So you hit that F chord with your pinky. Then switch out to your ring. Same B flat chord. Pinky on 8. F chord. Now this little section here. So that's A section and then A section again. Now at measure 9 we go into a B section. Very typical of folk music. It happens a lot. Grab your high F. Ring. F shape in front of your bar on 5. Probably pinky here. 0, 0, 7. Another B, high B flat. And then your low C. Pinky on 4. You got a minor shape here, so bar on 5 and ring here. Notice that we keep coming back to this bar on 5 because the melody has moved up there, but we haven't changed keys, so we end up barring there. B flat, high B flat, 7, and then high F. That little rest there, we don't put very many rests in ukulele music because it rests automatically. But in this case, you definitely want the noise to stop. And then you're back to another A section. repeat, obviously, and then the second time you come around, don't play 16, play 17, and then you get to the end and you have that nice high F. Isn't that fun? All right, so that's Minstrel Boy, and of course you have it on baritone as well. So hopefully that will be, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a song that's like, oh, that's critical to know this one, but it is basically all of the skills that you learned in book one. Here's a real song using all of those skills and sliding up the fretboard and all of that. So in my mind, that's sort of like, okay, now we've come full circle. We're using just book one stuff here, but we're using all straight out of drawing a blank of which song has these in it. But you're going to be using these exact. The skills you learned in book one are now coming to fruition. Like, oh, here we go. All these things are great. Rita, hey Rita, how are you? 78 degrees up in Highland Park. Very good. Sounds pretty nice, actually. Winter's on the way, peeps. All right, it's already there in Bremen. Rain like heck on Andre. All right, so that's Minstrel Boy. Baritone is exactly the same, I believe. Yep, nothing's different on the baritone. And I know one thing I was going to make myself a note of. Measure 11. All right, done. This over here. Okay. Good. Good. All right, let us move forward. We're going to go grab. We have a lot of work to do today. Okay, we got to play 2 songs on 2 different instruments, so that's 4 songs. They're both really long and they're both really good, and you guys have had them far too long. And so we're going to see how we do as a group on these and see if we can turn them into something. So grab Over the Rainbow first. Yeah, let's do Over the Rainbow first. That'll get us warmed up. And grab the ukulele version of Over the Rainbow. Jen and Charlie are here. Cool and sunny, beautiful here today. Yeah, it's interesting. We had some clouds roll over, and it was getting kind of dark and crummy out there, but the clouds have pulled off now, and so it looks really nice out there. I was out earlier. It felt kind of hot. Let me see what it is now. It says it is 81 still. All right, I guess that's a good day. I don't know. I don't go outside. All right. No, I go outside. I just haven't been able to because I have a sick kitty, and so I have to keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do anything weird. All right. Over the Rainbow. We've talked about this. This is maybe one that you keep, right? This is one that you use as a daily warm-up. You don't have to love the song. You just have to know that everybody knows the song. Everybody. And so now a lot of people, young people, know Israel's version, but we know Judy's version. And Israel's version doesn't quite have the same cachet finger style that Judy's version has. So that's why we do this one. Now, you've had a couple weeks, and I do apologize that my attendance has been abysmal. Just been a really rough month here, and I am believing, ever the optimist, that things are going to work out where I'm able to attend Friday afternoons more religiously. So don't give up hope. Okay. The other thing I am working on, which I do not have ready for today, but I'm hoping to have it ready for you within either tonight or tomorrow, a new Bach piece. I will just tell you that it is, it's beautiful, and if I can get it right, it will be wonderful. So Johann Sebastian Bach, everything he wrote was good. He wrote hundreds, maybe thousands of pieces, and every note of his was perfect. He's a pretty good songwriter. He didn't write any turkeys, which is weird. He probably wrote some turkeys. We just don't know about them. All right, so let's talk about Jan. She sent me a recordings of her playing Over the Rainbow and What a Wonderful World. You should do that too. It is this moment in time where you get a chance to do the best you can. You guys watch me make mistakes all day long every time we get together. I don't lose any sleep over it because that's what it was at the time, and you should do it too. And then you don't necessarily look at or listen to your recording. You just leave it in a file on your computer. Just let it sit there. 6 months from now, you go look at it. And if you are a better player in 6 months, then you win. And if you're not, then that means you're not practicing. You're not taking time out of your week to sneak in some playing the ukulele time, which is fine. You don't beat yourself up over that. But if you are playing on a regular basis, you will be a much better player 6 months from now than you are right now. And the only way to remember that is if you record yourself as you go along. So I do want to encourage you to emulate Jan. Grab your phone, sing into, click, record, put it here. You don't even need to appear on it. Play the song, stop, record, put it in your, and email it to yourself or whatever. Email me a copy. If it's too big to email, you put it in Dropbox, and then you send me the link to your Dropbox. And Andre says, sorry, but it's not winter, but the beginning of autumn in Germany. I meant 12. Yeah, I know. I knew you meant 12 degrees Celsius. I did. I just can't convert 12 degrees Celsius in my head to Fahrenheit. 53 degrees Fahrenheit. For some reason, this may have come up in conversation around the world. The United States we weren't smart enough to do the metric system. We tried, we wanted to convert everything back into the imperial system, and so we failed. We just failed. And they were like, we're going to do the metric system. And so in the elementary school, we're like, all right, we're going to do the elementary system. Here's how you convert it to the imperial system, which was the wrong way to do it. They should have been like, a liter, it's about a quart. Let's move on. It's a liter. And we should have just stuck with that, but we didn't. And so we failed. We weren't smart enough to switch over. So when you said it was 12 degrees there, Andre, I knew you were talking Celsius. I just was like, I don't know. It's probably warmer than it sounds. I do know I was in Milan one time and it was 44 degrees. And that apparently is 9,975 degrees because it was so hot. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, this doesn't seem safe. And and that was 44 degrees. And I was like, I don't know. I do know room temperature is about 25 degrees. That's the one thing that I do know in Celsius. And there's Linda, where every single day in Laguna is perfect. And so we have to deal with her showing up. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm having perfect weather. Glad you're here, Linda. All right, here we go. Over the rainbow. I'm going to pluck it the first time through, and then I'm going to strum it the second time through. Okay? From the top. If you are not ready to play Tuff Uke, you play melody or you play chords. Okay? And if you're on baritone, for sure you play chords. 1, 2, ready, play. on measure 3, go. Second ending. That's a good piece of music, right? Right? Hopefully that's going well for you. If that went pretty smoothly, pat yourself on the back. That is a hard song. Back when I originally arranged that, I was teaching a private lesson student, and I remember feeling kind of guilty for bringing it to her because it's way harder than I wanted it to be. But as I look at it now, it's a good arrangement. Like, it's really something that you want to be good at playing. And so don't be shy about it. Every day sitting down, working on it just a little bit, you know, and memorize the first 2 measures, memorize the next 4 measures or whatever. And just get where you're like, yeah, I warm up with my bar chord, then I play an arpeggio, and then I play over the rainbow, right? And then I work on my new stuff. And then when I'm all done with that, then I'll play, you know, Big Rock Candy Mountain or whatever it is you're working on. Yeah, so I think the sheet music is good. There's not a single note on here I'd change. I'm doing a couple of the E minor here, shape up on 7. That shape on 7. I'm adding in the 4th string open. It doesn't belong there. It's the wrong note, but it sounds kind of cool, so it sounds mystical to me. So I'm adding that in. Let's see. Andre says, in an hour I surf onto Hawaii. Oh, they do a Friday jam? I didn't know that. Yeah, heck yeah. Andre is a very fine musician. I've been, I keep up with him anymore. But back when he first started Ukulele Underground, I was there every day. It was a big deal back then. And yeah, he's just delightful teacher, really fun guy. I've gotten to talk to him a couple of times over the years, and just really a fine human being. And so, yeah, if that's something, I don't know if he charges or not, but it's definitely a quality. He's a quality person. Linda says, "Yep, it's good. Happy smiles here after repeating this song." Yeah, heck yeah, Jan. Yeah, Jan sent me a lovely version of it. All right, we're gonna play the baritone version, and guess what, ukulele players, you can't take the time off. These are your chords, right? They're C, F, and G, plus a few others. So we'll play those, and ukulele, you're on chords. Baritones, let's make this happen. Same exact thing as the other way. 1, 2, ready, play. Go. Ta-da! There we go. Lovely, right? All right, beautiful. There's Over the Rainbow. How are we doing on time? Not too bad. All right. Ooh. This is what happens when you end up taking time. My back is like, all right, it's not good. All right, let's go grab Wonderful World. We have too many wonderful songs. Why is it not here? What the heck is going on? Wonderful World. Ukulele. What the heck is going on? Hold on. Stop everything. Wonderful World. Why isn't it in my thing? I bet it's in the wrong folder. Hold on. Let me go find it. Patience. Sang it at age 21, filmed during the broadcast of the command performance from Judy Garland. Yeah, Judy Garland, honestly, super sad story, right? I mean, here's somebody who had a tremendous amount of talent and just really struggled with, try again. It's me. Really struggled with all sorts of things, and just eventually I think the world got the better of her, which is unfortunate because clear up into her later age, she was singing beautifully, and it's in the jazz list. Thank you, Jan. Jan's in charge of running my iPad. Thank you, Jan. Jazz. There it is. How come she knows that? That's creepy, Jan. Jan, you're creepy. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was like, why isn't it there? And I knew it was in one of the other folders. Okay, beautiful. All right, Wonderful World. That's funny. We're still in the key of F. Yes. Right? So it's the same chords for the most part. All right. Yeah, you know, one of my students gave that shirt to me. Isn't that cute? These are tough times. Difficult times. These are difficult times. 13/8 is ridiculous, right? At school, we're playing one that changes from 6/8, 7/8, 8/8, just randomly as you're playing along. 5/4, that's sort of a normal time signature. That's not near as tough as you'd think. Some of you will remember a Bangles song back in the day. Close your eyes. Give me your hand, darling. That's in 5/4, oddly. And then 9/8 over here, that's not a hard time signature at all. That's a normal time signature. So they could have made those way funnier. But yeah, I like it. One of my students gave it to me. Wonderful World. Time-wise, I think we will... because the repeats get all wonky. Let's just do it the way it is. 0 to 29. And then you're going to come back to 15. So I'm going to get my little thing out. So 0 to 29, and then when you come back to 15, okay? And then when you come back through the second time, remember 26 through 29 is your first repeat. So you're going to, a whole bunch of stuff you're not going to play that second time through. You'll go straight, you'll when you do the page turn, you got to start a measure 30. I'm going to put a yellow highlighter there so I can make my eye go there. All right, here we go. Wonderful World. Again, not fast, right? Give yourself an opportunity to play as pretty as you can. All right, from the top. 1, 2, 3. second ending. Nice. All right, so then very quickly, let's switch over to, got some floating half notes here. I'm busy making myself some notes. Back in the day, I used to not care about floating half notes, and then my friend Elizabeth joined the orchestra, and she is a very highly trained, long-term musician, and she kept sending me little notes. You got a floating half note. Got a floating half note. So I'm going to update this sheet music one of these days and fix all of these. There's a whole mess of them. I don't know when I originally arranged this, but it was before the floating half note incident. All right, good, beautiful. What do we think? What a wonderful, sure. Andre doing comedy over here. I have to go. Philip, good to see you. Thanks, bud. I'll see you Monday. Sounds good. Philip's been coming to orchestra. You guys should come to orchestra if you're not. One more reason to stay up till 4 in the morning, Andre. Let's play the baritone version of it. Ukulele players, this is in your key, right? This is C chords. No, it's not. It's in D chords. What? Wait a minute. The baritone's different? Hold on. What did I do? Oh my gosh. The baritone's in a totally different key. Well, let's do it in D then. Great. We'll figure out which one sounds the best, and we'll vote, and then we'll pick one. Oh, this is a lot more. This is a lot harder version. Baritone players, let's get this done. All right, here we go. Baritone version from the top in D. I don't know why. 1, 2, 3. Back to 15. You're on the second ending, right? Huh. I don't know why that's in a different key than it's supposed to be, but I'm going to make my... That's not as good of... That's harder to play. Put into ukulele key. Frowny face. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see. How are you? Honor, nice word. Thanks for the... Okay. Linda says, do you do Tuff uke for songs in the orchestra? Generally not. Generally orchestra songs, that's kind of the point of them, is that you would take what would be your Tuff uke and just blast it and give it over to all of the different voices. So generally, when I write the sheet music, I always write a Tuff uke for everything. But... when other people are writing just for orchestra, we usually don't have them do a Tuff uke line because we don't need it, right? We have all those other players taking care of all the chords and harmonies and all this rhythms and stuff. And so you can do a lot more complex stuff with the piece, but while making everybody's piece easier. Having said that, Linda, if there's one that you're like, you know what, I really, really have to have a Tuff uke version of this so I can play it at home on my own, send me a note. I can talk to either the arranger who did it, or sometimes if I find time, I can do them myself for you, because sometimes I want to do them too. Like if there's a song you're like, yeah, I really like that, and I'm like, yeah, it's a good song, and then we just take their version and fix it, basically. So that's what's going on with orchestra. The problem is you don't really need to play Tuff uke. You don't need to. I have one person in my guitar group who plays Tuff guitar in that group with the guitar orchestra, but she's an exceptional player. She's really high level, and so she does that way. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week. I'm sorry that my attendance has been abysmal. I'm anticipating Sunday things get back to normal. Crossing my fingers, and so I will hopefully have a much better week next week, and I hope you're having a great week wherever you are. Thanks for being here. I will see all of you soon. If you hit the thumbs up button, I eventually win a puppy, and so if you could do that, and obviously if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, do that. And I will be sending out an email, hopefully with the Bach piece finished. That's my plan. I've got it. I got the melody figured out. The accompaniment, as is typical with Bach, is way harder than I wished it was. But it's going to come along. We'll see. So thanks for being here. I'd say hi to everybody, but there's a lot of you. We're still on European day. Oh, you really are? Okay. So it's half an hour past midnight here. The neighbors are still dancing, so I can play along. Always fun. Thanks for all the great work. You're welcome, Andre. Thank you for always being here and being so kind. So, all right, off you go. Go play some ukulele this weekend. I'll see y'all Monday for orchestra. Peace.